Alright, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey, and as you can probably hear from my voice, I am a little bit sick. I've been sick for like almost 2 weeks now, and so if you keep up with my channel and you like to watch my videos, you'll probably notice I haven't posted in it feels like it's been like 2 or 3 weeks, because I've had no time working full time, and I've been fully sick. But literally on the last day of me being sick, right when I was in the shower, like all of this inspiration hit me at once, and I just really wanted to get back into doing readings. And I wasn't gonna do one today initially because I literally just got off work, and as you can hear from my voice, I'm still got a little bit of that sick rasp, and I'm still coughing a little bit, but I just felt so drawn to doing this reading today, so I really wanted to get it out there. But as you just heard, I'm probably going to be coughing here and there. Hopefully that doesn't bother you guys. If I have like a major coughing fit, I'll probably just edit it out. But feeling a lot better, just got a little bit of a cough, but really excited to do this reading today. So today's reading, as you can tell from the title, I wanted this reading to be all about, the universe wants your manifestations to come to you. The universe is trying to bring you into harmony with what it is that you want. But in order for you to get that, you need to clear the path, you need to clear away blockages, and you need to make space for those things. And so I wanted this reading to be all about, first of all, what blessings does the universe want to bring to you? What blessings is the universe trying to work with you to bring into your life? The things that you've been trying to manifest, the things that you've been wishing for, the things that you've been hoping for. What are those things that the universe wants to bring to you? And then the second half of that is going to be, how can you allow those into your life? Well, do you need to clear a certain path? Do you need to put certain things into motion? Are there certain things that you need to do? How can you clear away blockages to allow those things in? And then at the very end, we're going to be looking at, how will these blessings change your life? What will your life look like once you have these manifestations or once you have these blessings in your life? So hopefully this is going to be a pretty positive reading. Hopefully this brings you insight into where you're at with those manifestations that you want to bring into your life. But today I have 3 different readings for you to choose from. We have pile 1 with the clear quartz, pile 2 with the green aragonite, and pile 3 with the dendritic agate. So go ahead and pause, figure out which reading you feel most drawn to. I'll leave timestamps down in the description box below so you can quickly jump to whichever reading that you want to listen to. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, pile 1. If you chose the clear quartz, then this is the reading for you. Like I said, still recovering from an illness, so if I cough here and there and if I sound weird, that's why. But getting into your reading, I can already tell that these blessings, they are at your fingertips, and the only thing blocking you is yourself. I think the universe is trying to give you a wake-up call that right now you are your biggest enemy, standing between you and these blessings or these manifestations that you want. A lot of these things that you want, okay, well, some of them are things that I think that you could have right now, and then there's some others that I'm seeing here that are going to be things that you need to work towards, but that work is not going to be work that you're afraid of. It's not going to be work that you're constantly second guessing. It's not going to be work that you're not enjoying. It's going to be work that feels right to you, but a lot that's holding you back right now is fear of that, fear of what might happen. I think also there's a lot of your ego getting in the way. And so some of the things that I'm going to say here, they might upset you. And what I want you to know right now is I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm here to tell you what's in the cards. And I think the universe wants you to have a wake-up call. Not because the universe is frustrated with you, but because the universe can sense your frustration. The universe feels your pain. The universe feels your desire for better. And if you want better, you need to wake up and realize nobody's going to bring it to you. Nobody's going to fight for you. Nobody's going to have realizations for you. You are the one that has to put in that work. You are the one that has to put in that effort. And it can be scary. It can be scary stepping outside your comfort zone. It can be scary to ask for help when your whole identity is wrapped up in, I do everything on my own and I'm so independent. It's scary to do those things. But if you can get out of your own way, if you can stop clinging to your ego, I promise you, everything that you've been desiring, everything that you've been hoping for in this life that you imagine in your head and fantasize about having one day, that life is at your fingertips. And so I say that at the beginning just to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about in this reading, because I don't want you to get a little pissed off when I say, hey, you're your own problem. You need to step off your own tail so you can start moving. It might hurt your feelings, it might freak you out, but I say this all from the love within my heart and the love within the universe coming and reaching out to help you out, because I think you just need a little bit of a push. You just need a little bit of a wake-up call. So first off, let's start with, what are these blessings? What are these blessings that the universe wants to bring into your life? Starting off with temperance, when I look at temperance, I see somebody who has a lot of time on their hands to just do what they want. Somebody that not only has like an abundance of physical time to themselves and to tending to their own needs and wants, and an abundance of energy to give to others. Not only do I see that, but I also see like a big lack of a sense of urgency. Feeling like, excuse me, I feel like you right now, you constantly deal with senses of urgency, and when you finally do have time to yourself, you're thinking about like, where's that to-do list? Where's that list of things that I'm never getting around to? Or you finally have some time to yourself and you're like, I need to keep up with this friend. I need to make some time for this person. And I think the blessing that the universe wants to bring into your life is this future version of yourself that I'm imagining in my mind is this person that not only has an abundance of energy, but also just no lack of urgency. Not because they don't care about maintaining relationships or they don't care about getting things done, but because they're at a level of peace with you come first. At the end of the day, you come first. Filling your own cup comes first. I think you are the kind of person where, whether it comes from your sense of identity or comes from a place of scarcity or comes from a place of fear of people not loving you if you don't put them first, I feel like you are the kind of person that you have always tried to fill other people's cups from your own. You've always tried to make sure everybody else is okay. You've always tried to make sure everybody else is happy with you, everybody else is pleased. And I'll tell you, like, I'm a victim of this. I work full time and I try to get these videos done, and I feel like if I can't get one video done a week, I feel like I'm letting myself down. But on top of that, I also have a social life I try to maintain. I feel bad if I'm not spending enough time with family or enough time with friends. And at the end of the day, those relationships, they're not quotas that we're supposed to meet. They're people we're supposed to love. And the whole point of our life is to enjoy it and to enjoy the relationships around us, not feel like we're trying to punch in time cards with those relationships. And I feel like you're the kind of person that might resonate with that. Maybe it's not exactly like me, but I feel like you're the kind of person that is always trying to fill other people's cups, or always trying to make sure everything on the to-do list is done. Meanwhile, you're sitting here with only 50% energy all the time. When's the last time that you did things from a sense of having 100% energy, or having 110% and thinking, okay, I have this 10%, what can I give this to? Instead, you're like, okay, I'm at 70%, I'm feeling decent, what can I start working on? What can I start adding on to? What can I start filling? What other cups can I fill even though mine's not full? And I heard this really great analogy not too long ago that was essentially like, we're supposed to keep our cup full, and then any additional overflow that we have, we give that overflow to other people. We never give directly from our personal cup. Our personal cup is priority number one. And I think something that you need to start learning to do is not just saying no, because I don't think that it's necessarily a problem with being able to say no to people. I think it's deeper, and you need to look within yourself as to, why do I feel the need to people please? Or why do I feel the need to make everything in my life perfect, even in spite of the fact that I don't have the energy to be doing that right now? Why do I feel the need to be getting all these things done and excelling in this area and giving to these people and doing X, Y, and Z? Why do I feel the need to do all that? I feel like the answer might be, the answer is always it has something to do with our ego, but sometimes on a deeper level, it has something to do with our own identity. I want you to ask yourself, if you stopped giving to everybody in the way that you are right now, not necessarily being selfish, not that I think being selfish is inherently a bad thing, but if you stopped giving on the level that you're giving right now, why would that hurt you? Do you feel like it says something about your identity of, oh, if I'm not a giving person, then I must be a bad person? Or if I'm not constantly on my A game at work, then it means that I'm not a hard worker. Or if I take some time away from this, I don't know, thing I like to do in my spare time, it means I'm not disciplined because I'm giving up on it. And I think that those are all lies that you tell yourself and unrealistic expectations that you're trying to live up to. And it's putting you in a box. It's putting you in a cage that is not sustainable. Looking at the Four of Cups reversed here at the bottom, this is supposed to be, how can you remove these blockages so you can access this blessing? How can you access the version of yourself that actually has energy, that feels good, that actually feels like you can give to others without taking from yourself? I feel like in order to do that, you need to start by, first of all, saying no. I don't think that this is a permanent solution. I don't think you need to say no to everybody all the time, but I think you need to take a pause. You need to take a break. You need to take some time to rest to yourself. And also within that break, look within and ask yourself, why do I feel the need to keep on top of these things constantly? Why do I feel the need to constantly give to others and give my energy to everything but myself? Really understanding the depths of why am I doing all this? Why am I taking away from my energy? Why do I not think of myself as a priority? Because when I look at this Temperance card, I'm looking at this woman who, she is her highest priority. Not because she's selfish, but because she knows that when she's her highest priority, and when she is her highest self, that's when she can give to others in the best possible way. It's not just her being selfish and keeping everything to herself. She can give to others, but giving to others doesn't hurt her. Versus if you never prioritized yourself, giving to others would only ever hurt you. And so it's kind of like a catch-22. You want to give to others, but when you never give to yourself, it's only ever taking from you. And if you prioritize yourself, you can still give to others, you can still stay on top of things, you can still be that hard worker, that disciplined person, that caring person, that giving person. And on top of that, you don't need to sacrifice your energy because you know when and how to take care of yourself and prioritize yourself and regaining your energy, refilling your cup. And that is a version of yourself that I think when you step into that, everything else comes easily. You know, whatever manifestations you're trying to bring into your life, whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever goals that you've set your mind on, when you can be the highest version of yourself with maximum energy to give, waking up every morning feeling like I'm ready to take on life, not feeling like, God, I wish I could have just gotten another hour of sleep. Or God, I wish I didn't sacrifice so much of my time yesterday so that I could actually feel like myself today. When you can be the highest version of yourself, these goals are going to be 10 times easier to reach. Those manifestations, wanting to buy a house, wanting to apply to that new job, wanting to take on this new business opportunity, the wanting to go hang out with friends at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. at night when you normally wouldn't have energy. Suddenly, all of those things you'll have energy for. Suddenly, all those things will be so much more enjoyable. But first, you need to learn to prioritize yourself. Now, moving on to the middle cards here, you have the King of Swords clarified by the Eight of Swords. When I look at the King of Swords and I'm imagining, what blessing is this that the universe is trying to invite into your life? I'm imagining you as this King of Swords. And if you don't know what the King of Swords is, this is a card that speaks its mind. This is a card that's level-headed. This is a card that is honest. This is a card that rules from a place of logic and strength. And when I imagine you right now, not only did I say I'm imagining somebody that doesn't really, you feel like you have a scarcity of time and a scarcity of energy. But I also feel like you might be coming from a place where you're not feeling grounded and clear-headed. And you also feel like you keep a lot of your personal truths inside because you're afraid of what people might think of them. And I think something that you need to do, how you solve this is, like I said about the first one, a lot of what you need to do is look within, and I think it's the exact same with this one. In order to turn into the highest version of yourself that is confident in who you are, that is honest about who you are, that speaks your mind freely and is not afraid of repercussions or not afraid of what other people thinks, you need to start working on the fears that you have within. I think there's a lot of insecurities that you have about yourself. And it's not just insecurities about physical looks. I think that's something that everybody has, but I think on a deeper level, you have a lot of insecurities about what people think of you, about what people think of your hobbies, of what people think about your your values of what people think about the decisions that you make in life, about, your decision on where you want to live, your decision on if you want to have a family or not, your decision on if you want to have one partner or if you want to be polyamorous. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of decisions you want to make or how you want to lead your life. But what I see the common thread for all of you is that you have trouble expressing your true self. I don't think that you're very confident in your true self, and I think you have a lot of fears of, what will people think if I start talking this way? Or what will people think if I express this thing? Or what will people think if I wanted to go down this path instead of this path? I think you really need to sit down and you need to examine exactly what each of these fears are and ask yourself, what are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of other people thinking? What outcomes are you so afraid of? Are you afraid of people disowning you? I think you need to ask yourself, if somebody's going to disown you for, wanting to be polyamorous, I don't know, I think you need to look within it and ask yourself, is that a true friend? Is that somebody that would really support me? Because honestly, if one of my friends wanted to be polyamorous and they were being safe, sane, and consensual, it's okay, that's none of my business. I'm not really into that, but it's not my business what you want to do. As long as you're safe and happy, I'll support you. I know that's a random example, and I don't even think that's necessarily what you're going through, but I think you just have so many things within you that you feel weighed down by secrets. And it's not secrets, I think some of them could be deep secrets, but I think some of them are so little, and it's I almost imagine, I'm imagining you and a friend in a mall, and a friend picks up a bag and is like, what do you think of this bag? And there's a part of you that's scared to be like, oh my gosh, I hate it. But in reality, you're just well, it's okay. I think it's pretty. I think it would look good on you. But the true version of yourself is no, girl, that bag is so ugly. It's a really weird example, but I feel you're afraid of what people will think if you speak your mind. If you're a little bit too outlandish, if you're too divisive. I don't know, I think you're afraid of your opinions being divisive or stirring the pot. I feel you try to constantly keep things as mellow as possible and trying not to create any disturbances, any ripples. And because of that, it's making you, not only is it making you sick inside because you're not being your true authentic self, but it kind of makes you a little boring, if I'm being honest. If you're constantly trying to appease everybody, if you're constantly trying to appear perfect, you're not really appeasing anybody. Because everybody has an opinion, and everybody's opinion is going to be different. And at the end of the day, you need to be yourself. You need to stand on your own 2 feet and say, this is me. Whether you like it or not, this is me. That's what's going to make you stand out. That's what's going to make the right people actually find you interesting. Because, there's that saying, if you're trying to appease everybody, you're pleasing nobody. Because if everybody in the world agreed on everything, the world would be completely different. But we all know everybody has an opinion about everything, and everybody has a different opinion. And so, at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, what matters more? Pleasing everybody or actually being somebody that people would actually want to be drawn to, people would be interested in? Because I'm going to be honest. If I'm sitting in conversation with somebody and they're just constantly agreeing with everything that I say, and they never bring up any, exciting ideas because they just want to go along with what they think will please others or what will be politically correct or what will be okay to say, I'm going to leave that conversation feeling I feel I just talked to a wall. I feel I didn't really connect with a real person. I might as well just be talking to AI. And so when I look at what is this blessing the universe is trying to bring you, the universe is trying to bring you the blessing of confidence, of standing on your own 2 feet and showing the world who you really are, speaking from a place of truth and not from a place of fear. And I feel you, at this current point in time, you're guided by fear. Fear of judgment, fear of not being accepted, fear of being rejected. And when you constantly live in fear, you're being the gray version of you, versus you could be a full colorful spectrum if you could show the world who you really are. But all of these little fears keep you being mellow, being I don't really want to stand out, or I don't really want to raise my voice, or I don't really want to express how I really feel because people might think I'm weird or XYZ. I think something that could help you attain this version of yourself, this level of confidence and happiness that you're searching for, you need to start by looking within and asking yourself, what am I so afraid of if I decide to speak honestly? What am I so afraid of if I decide to dress the way that I want to dress? Or if I speak the way that I want to speak? Or if I really act the way that I want to act and I pursue the things that I want to pursue? What am I so afraid of happening? And at the end of the day, do I care more about that fear? Or do I care more about living the life I want to live? Because you only have one life. And if you live in fear forever, you're never going to live the life that you want to live. It's as simple as that. You will always live a life that you don't enjoy if you always live a life led by fear. I believe that there's a version of you that lives authentically and lives confidently, but in order to do that, you really need to reckon with yourself and reckon with these fears within you. And until you do that, you're going to be controlled by them. And so the last two cards that we have here are the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Wands. And I think another blessing that the universe is trying to bring you is a blessing of no longer feeling burdened by fear. Now that's kind of the overarching thing that I've seen throughout all of this, though I think the second one was kind of just really zoning in on fear of expressing who you are. But I think the Ten of Swords is specifically talking about a fear of taking action. I think that there's something specific in your life that you've been wanting to take action to. For some of you, maybe it's moving to a new place. Maybe for others, it's, I don't know, you want to get into cross-dressing, or I don't know, you want to get into a hobby of some kind that you've always loved, like writing, but you think people are going to reject your writing, or they're going to make fun of you for it, or they're not going to like your stories, or they're not going to like what you have to say. When I look at the Ten of Swords, I think of somebody who has paralyzed themselves in fear. Somebody that has never taken a step towards what they know in their heart that they want. You've known that you want this thing. You've known you want to move towards it. Maybe you fantasize about it every day, but you're constantly holding yourself in place. And what's holding you in place? What's pinning you in place? Fear. Like you see in the Eight of Swords and like you see in the Ten of Swords, it's this person pinned in place by their fears. This person in the Eight of Swords, they're literally bound and blindfolded and penned in by these swords representing their fears. And in the Ten of Swords, you see this person that wants to move towards their goal, is trying to crawl towards it, but they have 10 swords pinning them in their back, pinning them to the floor so that they cannot move. I think at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to help you is movement, is making steps towards those goals, is taking action. You need to stop waiting around for somebody to do something for you. In fact, you need to stop waiting around for fear to go away. Because the truth about fear and anxiety, as somebody that's dealt with a lot of fear and anxiety throughout their life, and even now, I still deal with it, the only thing that will help you overcome it is walking through it. And I want you to imagine the fears that you have as like a tornado or a hurricane or something. You know how they say the eye of the hurricane is where you find peace, is the one spot of the storm that is calm? The only way that you will get through your fear is by walking through it. You can sit outside the hurricane and you can try to think away your fears all you want. You can rationalize them and logic them until you understand them inside and out. And I think understanding them helps. I think that those are steps that you need to take along the way. But at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to get you out of this is running directly at them. Run directly at those fears. I'll give you an example, and it's a personal example, so maybe it won't resonate with you, but this is something I personally have gone through. I am somebody that has always dealt with major social anxiety. Ever since ever since puberty. That's when the mental illness sets in, I guess. I don't know how many people resonate with that, but that's when it set in for me. I always had so much anxiety around meeting new people to the point where I would always make up excuses as to why I couldn't go out or why I didn't want to meet those new people. And it really came to a head during college, because college is the time that you're always meeting new people, always getting invited to things, and I never wanted to go to parties. I always felt like this paralyzing fear. And I came to realize a lot of that had to do with, I was afraid of, what if I make a fool of myself? Or what if I can't make conversation? Or what if people don't like me? And you know what the only thing was that allowed me to finally get over it, and actually allowed me to get over it really quickly, is just going to that party. Going to that meetup with those new people, even though I was scared, even though I was paralyzed by fear, even though sometimes I would gag from nausea of just how anxious I was. Once I went there, and once the party was over, or once the hangout was over, even just if it was a matter of like 6 hours, within that 6-hour time, a decade of anxiety suddenly felt like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Oh, I can actually make conversation. Oh, yeah, maybe that one thing that I said was a little bit awkward, but you know what? Nobody cares because nobody remembers. All of that anxiety, all that buildup, it is always so much worse in your head because your head is always trying to show you the worst possible outcomes so that you avoid it, so that you avoid that party, so that you avoid meeting those new people, so that you avoid going to that job. Your ego and your fears will show you what the worst possible outcome is. It will show you the outcome of what if everybody hates you, or what if everybody rejects you, or what if everybody laughs at you, or what if that new job doesn't want to hire you. But that's not reality. That's the worst possible outcome. You know the worst possible outcome because your ego wants to protect you from it. But at the end of the day, it's not very likely that that's going to happen. In fact, it's probably pretty unrealistic. Reality is never as bad as our fears make it out to seem. And our fear's job is to protect us, but at some point you need to look at your fear and you need to say, you know what, I appreciate you for trying to take care of me and for trying to make sure that I am okay and that I don't face rejection, but I don't need you to take care of me anymore. I'm ready to face this head on. And so go to that thing, go try that thing, go tell people that you're interested in trying this new thing, or go tell people you want to be a writer, or go tell people that you want to put your art on display at a show, or I don't know, go tell people you want to put your dog in a dog competition. Like, that's your dream, is to win the best in show at like the dog competition. I don't know, but whatever it is, I promise you, the anxiety and fear that is built up in your mind that is paralyzing you in place is so much worse than what reality will actually be. I promise you, once you can actually do it, once you do it that first time, the first time is always the hardest, but right after, I promise you, all that fear that you had is going to be gone. It is never as bad as it is built up in your head. You know why? Because your head always shows you the worst possible outcome. And this is a hard lesson I've had to learn over and over again. And I'm going to tell you, it's not easy to just do it. It's really difficult. I never said it was easy. But once you do it, you'll realize it wasn't that bad. You know what? I don't need to let those fears dictate how I live my life. I don't need to let these fears stop me from pursuing what I want to pursue. And what I see with this Eight of Wands, the Eight of Wands is about fast, rapid movement and just getting things done. I see that once you can just do it once, then you'll have this cascade effect of, okay, I've done it once, let's keep doing it. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's win another dog competition. Let's go to the national dog competition. Let's do the international dog competition. And all of a sudden, your dog is in the dog Olympics or whatever. I don't know. It's a weird example, but I promise you, once you've done it once, it will build this momentum that will allow you to pursue anything that your heart wants to pursue. It will get so easy to the point that you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, how was I ever afraid of these things? Like for me, like I said with the social anxiety, I used to literally be so terrified of the idea of clubbing, of all things, that I would like pray that my friends didn't want to go clubbing because like then I would feel left out and then my anxiety would make me feel bad and all this. And now I did it once. I was like, oh, that's not that bad. Now I actually enjoy it. Now I ask my friends if they want to go clubbing. And I still deal with social anxiety, but it gets easier each time you put yourself out of your comfort zone. In a way, it's kind of like exposure therapy. And I think you just need to kick yourself in your own butt and force yourself to go through these things. And you know what? Maybe it'll end up bad, but if it ends up bad, then you can look at this video, you can comment, I told you so, I'm never doing that again, and then never do it again. But make a promise to yourself and make a promise to the universe that you will at least try. Because there's no harm in trying, but there is harm in never doing anything out your comfort zone. There is harm in leading a life led by fear. Or rather, leading a life where you never do anything because of fear. And so finally, I want to show you with these last 3 cards what your life can look like if you invite these blessings into your life, what your life will actually look like once you've achieved these things and made these changes to live this life that you're trying to manifest. So up first, we have the Magician card, then we have the 6 of Swords, and then the 7 of Pentacles reversed. So starting with the first cards, this is the one that I told you, the The blessing is you being the highest version of yourself that has energy, that doesn't have a sense of urgency, that doesn't have a sense of panic, that doesn't constantly feel like you're racing around trying to fill everybody's cup but your own. What life will actually look like once you feel like the highest version of yourself, once you have that energy, once you don't feel that urgency all the time. And with the magician, for the magician, the world is your oyster. This life that you'll be leading will look like you have the ability to do anything you set your mind to. And not just you have the ability, but you feel like you have the ability to do so. And I want you to ask yourself right now, do you feel like you have the ability to do anything that you set your mind to right now? Do you currently feel like you can accomplish any goal you set your mind to? I think if you're watching this video and you're resonating with this, you probably don't. And that's what you want to get to. You have a sense of yearning to get to this highest version of yourself, to get to this version of yourself that does have the energy, that does feel like you have the time in the day, that doesn't feel this constant sense of panic and urgency. And when I look at the magician, this is somebody that can accomplish any goal they set their mind to. This is somebody that can do anything, even when people say that they think they can't. This is somebody that you call up and you're like, hey, can you help me with something? And they're like, yeah, I got you. And it doesn't take anything away from them to help. This is the person that people look up to. This is the person with a true sense of confidence, a person that truly, can take care of others and also take care of themselves. And that's who you will become. And it comes from this place of what feels like limitless energy. And the reason it feels like that is because you never let yourself dip below 100%. Versus you right now hasn't been able to reach 100% in a long time. I don't think you can remember the last time that you've been at 100% energy, feeling like you have so much of yourself to give. But this future version of yourself, this highest version of yourself, is always at 100, if not above 100. And so when you want to give to others, when you want to have those hangouts, when you want to stay out a little bit later past your schedule, you can, and you feel great, and you feel okay, because you've laid that groundwork and prioritized yourself. Now up next with the King of Swords, this is the blessing that is all about being the most confident version of yourself, being the most authentic version of yourself. The Six of Swords, when I see this is you walking away from what's no longer suiting you. When I am imagining you, I'm imagining somebody who, and I'm not saying that your life isn't great, but I think there's a lot of things in your life that you're not satisfied with. Maybe it's your home. Maybe it's the place that you currently live. Maybe it's your current job. Maybe it's the current friend group that you have or lack thereof. Maybe it's the current relationships that you have around you. Maybe it's, XYZ. But I feel like there's things in your life that you are not properly satisfied with. And this version of yourself that lives authentically and is true to yourself and speaks your mind and shows the true version of yourself to everyone around you, this version of yourself has gotten up and walked away from the things not suiting you. When there are those things that are unsatisfying to you in your life right now, those things are not in your future because you've been able to pick up and walk away from them. When there's those people in your life that would laugh at you or reject you for speaking your mind or being your true self, you walk away from them. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. And if they don't resonate with you, they don't resonate with you. No harm, no foul, no hurt feelings. But you are the kind of person that will walk away from that and find something better. And you know what? Maybe in the future, those people will miss you and they won't realize what they had. And maybe maybe they'll finally realize that they judge from a place of fear within themselves or from a place of insecurity within themselves. But what matters is this future version of you is constantly moving towards better. And I remember hearing this thing a long time ago. I think it was like Leo Skeppy or something that said it. But he said, when you ask the universe for things, specific manifestations, you're looking for the dream home. And the universe presents you with an option of like a somewhat dream home. You are allowed to reject what the universe brings you. You are allowed to reject those things and say, you know what, I appreciate the opportunity, but this isn't what I'm looking for. And I think the future version of you right now, you are taking table scraps. You are thankful for any opportunity that you get, and you let people walk all over you, and you let yourself take any little thing because you're afraid of not getting anything better. The future version of yourself knows that you know what, maybe I'll have to go without a dream home right now. Maybe I'll have to stick with whatever I have right now, but it's okay because I'm waiting for perfect. I know perfect is out there and I know that it is aligned with me and it will come when it is meant to come. And so I feel like what I'm trying to say is the future version of you is constantly moving towards better, constantly moving towards what you actually desire, not what you think like, oh, well, I guess I have to accept this because I don't know if I'm going to get better in the future. That is from a place of scarcity. That is from a place of uncertainty and from a lack mindset. And the future version of yourself has an abundance mindset, has a mindset that understands like, you know what, maybe I won't have it right now, but it is coming in the future. And you are constantly willing to pick up and move away from what is not satisfying you. What does not resonate with you, you move away from. And finally, with the Seven of Pentacles reversed, I think what the Seven of Pentacles reversed is trying to say is, like I said, this blessing, this Ten of Swords blessing, is about you finally being able to move towards what you want, and not just move towards it, but move with momentum, because you're no longer pinned down by your own fear. That is a blessing that you'll have in the future. And what it will bring you is you'll no longer just constantly be looking towards the outcome and is this going to be perfect or is it not? Is it finally going to come or is it not? And instead, being in the moment and just allowing yourself to enjoy the journey. Not only will you be able to move towards the goals that you want, but you won't be a slave towards the outcome. I think you right now, and I don't say this to make you feel bad about yourself, but to bring awareness to your situation, I think the version of you right now is somebody that is a slave to the outcome. And what I mean by that is if you don't get the outcome that you're searching for on, if I don't get it now, then I'm unhappy. Or if I can't see it coming in the near future, then I'm unhappy. Or if it fails, then I'm unhappy. I think this future version of yourself that has this blessing of being able to move forward without fear, not only are you able to move forward without fear and chase these goals, but I think you are unburdened by constantly looking at the outcome, and instead you are allowed to just enjoy the journey. I think you will be somebody that finally allows yourself to let go of how things end up, letting go of the future, letting go of control. And I think that's the all-encompassing message here is, yeah, there's these little blessings talking about like different areas of your life, but what I see this all-encompassing thing being is you finally being able to let go of fear, you finally being in flow. I think a lot of the times when we feel ungrounded or we feel foggy in our head, it's because a lot of the time we're so determined to get a specific outcome, and when it doesn't come, it kind of just unseats us. And we become filled with all these fears and all these pains and all these insecurities. And I think this highest version of yourself the universe wants you to step into is a version of you that is just in flow, that understands that, come rain or snow or speed bumps or blockages, whatever, you know that no matter what, you are in flow towards the outcome that you are meant for. Everything is constantly happening for your highest good and for the best outcome to eventually come to you. And I think it's easy to have those realizations, those sayings here and there of, everything happens the way it's supposed to. But it's very different to actually live in that feeling and understand when those bad things happen or when those blockages happen, to still feel that confidence of everything's going to happen when it's meant to. Everything will happen the way that it's meant to. It's completely different saying it versus actually feeling it. And I think once you let go of these fears and allow yourself to move towards these goals freely and just trust in the universe and trust in your abilities, that's when you'll actually be able to feel that feeling of everything happens for a good reason. And to say that and fully feel peace. To not feel uncertainty, to not feel urgency of, I need to work harder, I need to go faster, I need to keep trying these things. To just be able to take a deep breath, let go, and feel like, you know what? The universe has my back. I'm putting in the work, I'm following my intuition, and everything will happen the way it's meant to. So, pile one, I know that was a lot. I feel like I ranted at you for a long time, but I really hope that this helped alleviate any uncertainty. And more than anything, I really hope that this helped empower you, because that is the goal of this reading today, is I want you to feel empowered that these blessings that you want, that this highest version of yourself that you want to become, those are within reach. And the only thing standing in your way is yourself. And you know what the good thing about that is? Is you have all the power to get out of your own way. You have all the power to achieve these goals and to access these feelings. You can do it, but it's up to you. And I really hope that I gave you that empowerment. So, pile 1, that is what I'm going to leave you with today. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading, but that is all that I have. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile 2. If you chose the green aragonite, then this is the reading for you. Like I said at the very beginning, I still have a little bit of a cough, and my voice is pretty raspy because I still am recovering from a sickness. So hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. But just putting that out there in case you're like, why does this bitch keep coughing? Anyway, ignore that. Right, so getting into this. I want to start with, what are these blessings that the universe wants to bring into your life? What blessings does the universe want to help you access? Starting off with the 9 of Pentacles, this straight up is just financial abundance. I think the universe is trying to help you access financial abundance, but there is something that you need to do in order to stop blocking yourself from achieving this. And what I see here with the 2 of Pentacles reversed is you need to be more decisive in your career. I don't know if you work for a traditional business or if you're an entrepreneur, but whatever it is, I think that there's a big lack of decisiveness that is stopping you. And I'll give you an example of an entrepreneur. You don't necessarily need to be an entrepreneur, but I feel like this is going to be an answer that will help you out. So I imagine somebody trying to start a business, and it's great to ask for help. It's great to ask for advice, especially from people that have done what you have done. But at the end of the day, learning is not doing. Learning is great, but it's not getting things done. And at the end of the day, it's your business. It's your goal. It's your dream that you are trying to fulfill and accomplish. And nobody understands that dream except for you. Yeah, there are people that might really want to help you accomplish it because they really believe in your mission, but it's your business. And at the end of the day, it needs to be your decisions that you're making. And I think that there's a lot of fear of, what if I make the wrong decision, or what if I'm not smart enough, or what if this tanks my finances, or what if it's a bad idea? Being indecisive is not helping you. And I think you are very smart. I think you're a very smart person, and people are going to hit roadblocks along the way. There's going to be times where you make mistakes, but those mistakes are not going to be so bad that it's something that you'll never come back from. Mistakes are a part of the learning curve, and I think you need to not be so afraid of them. I think because of that fear of making mistakes, excuse me, it's paralyzing you and creating this level of indecisiveness. And if you're indecisive, you're never going to get anything done. And if you never get anything done, you're not going to make that money. And I think you want to make that money. When I see this 9 of Pentacles card, I see somebody that is fully capable of bringing in a lot of money. I see somebody that is fully capable of achieving a level of abundance to where they are perfectly taken care of, to the level of abundance that would satisfy you. So it is entirely possible for you to achieve that. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to do the work for you. Nobody's going to make the tough decisions for you. And so whatever decision that you're afraid of making, what I want you to do is, let's say it's a black and white decision of decision A, decision B. What I want you to do is flip a coin, and it doesn't matter what side the coin ends up on. It doesn't matter what side fate chooses. But you will realize during that coin flip what side that you actually want it to land on. And this happens all the time. Like, you may feel in the moment like you're really indecisive, but if you put it up to fate or you ask somebody else to make the decision for you, before you even have the outcome from that other person or from the coin, you will know in your heart, you will know intuitively which decision you actually want to make. It's just about forcing that coin to be tossed or forcing that other person to make the decision for you that kicks your ass into gear and makes you be like, wait, I actually wanted decision A all along. Yes, I was indecisive. Yes, I was scared about it possibly being the wrong decision, or what if decision B is better, but I know in my heart to go with decision A. And I think something that is really going to help you achieve this success is following your intuition. I think your intuition has all the answers that you're looking for, but you need to trust your abilities. You need to trust your intellect. You need to trust your wisdom, and you need to trust your abilities. At the end of the day, I think this indecisiveness is coming from, well, I just need to ask somebody else, somebody that knows more than me. you've done all the learning that you need. I think you know what to do, but you're the one that needs to make the decision now. And I think the thing that's stopping you is a lack of trust in yourself. And I want to tell you, what I'm getting from the universe and what I intuitively feel right now is your abilities are trustworthy. I think, let's say if you're trying to start a business right now, I would trust you to make the right decisions if I was your business partner. Like intuitively, the feeling I'm getting from this reading is you know what to do. You know the right path to go down. You know the right decision to make. But it's your fears and your lack of trust in yourself that are stopping you from being decisive and taking action. And I think once you can learn to trust yourself, once you start putting things into motion, you're going to see that success come in. And like I said, mistakes aren't avoidable. You're going to hit them. Every person does. So don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are not spelling out like, oh, this is doomed. I never should have tried to begin with. I think you're meant to see this thing through. But don't be afraid of mistakes. When they come, all right, let's find a way to rectify it. Let's find a way to go around it and let's keep moving. That's what you need. Decisiveness and the will to go forward, and more than anything, trust in yourself. And when you do, you're going to make that money. You're going to be successful. Trust me. Now, if it's not entrepreneurship that you're doing, let's say you're in a career where maybe you lead a department or maybe you feel the need to kind of step up a little bit. I think you're a little afraid of, well, I haven't been given that job title maybe, and so I don't know if I should step up, or, you know, I've only been in this role for like a year. I don't know if I should speak up because what if I'm wrong? Excuse me. I think you need to give yourself more credit, because when you step up, I think there's a lot of people around you that are just waiting to be led. Or people around you that maybe you thought that they knew more than you, but it turns out you actually know more than them. But it's because of how little you're believing in yourself right now that you're not stepping up. You're not really showing how much you actually know. And because of that, you're holding yourself back. And not just holding yourself back from accomplishment, holding yourself back from money. I think there's money to be made, promotions to be had, but you need to show your stuff. You need to show how competent you are. And you need to believe in your own competence. And I believe in you. The universe believes in you. That's why you're getting this message. You can do it. You can make things happen. You can make that money and you can be successful. But you need to believe in yourself. You need to have the confidence of a man, the unwavering confidence of, what a man has in his abilities, even though sometimes those men maybe shouldn't have that level of confidence, but they do anyways. I want you to step up, put the big boy pants on, and believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities and trust yourself. I think maybe there's people in your past that have talked down to you, or maybe you went to speak your mind and they didn't necessarily believe in you, even though you were probably right. And because of that, I think it left a mark on you and left a mark on your confidence. But now is the time to not take any BS from anybody. And you know what? Just stand up and be like, you know what? I know I'm right. I know I'm right, even if you don't want to listen to me. And if you're not going to take my advice, if you're not going to listen to what I have to say, then I'm going to take my advice elsewhere. I'm going to take my hard work elsewhere because I know what I'm worth. I know that I am worth big money. I know that I can accomplish a lot in this position. And if you don't want to use me to my fullest potential, okay, your loss. Find somebody else to fill my role because I'm moving on. That's what a man would do. And so whether or not you're a man, I think you need to step into that kind of energy because you deserve to have that confidence. I think you are the actual kind of person that deserves that confidence because you have the skills to back it up. And I think you just maybe don't see that in yourself, or maybe just don't quite see how good you really are. So, first of all, I think that's the first step that will actually allow you to reach that blessing of more money or higher position, whatever it is that you want. Now, moving on to the Four of Pentacles. To me, this shows me that you're somebody that maybe you have a sense of not scarcity, but I think the words I want to use is like frugal, or feeling like things will run out and so therefore you don't use a lot, especially with money. And I think the future version of yourself, not only is the future version of yourself gonna have money, gonna have success, but I think the future version of yourself, one of the blessings the universe is trying to bestow upon you is a feeling of security. I think what you deal with is a big feeling of insecurity, not just, I think money plays a big part in feeling like you need to be frugal, or feeling like you never have enough, or feeling like it might always be taken out from under you. but also insecurity in other areas. Possibly on a deeper level, insecurities that people might leave you, or insecurities that people might steal from you, or people might take advantage of you. And something that the universe wants you to do is really look back on your childhood. And this is a bit of a deeper one, because I think this blessing isn't necessarily something physical you're going to be receiving. This blessing is you being able to, quote unquote, glow up into the version of yourself that doesn't deal with this insecurity anymore. The universe wants to bless you with this confidence, but the way that you achieve it is by working for it yourself. And I think the way that you work for it is looking within at, how did this start? What was it in my childhood that made me feel like I'm never going to have enough money, or I'm never going to have enough security, or that things will always be taken from me? Why do I never feel secure in my own home? Why do I never feel secure in my job, that my position will always be taken, or that I'm always replaceable, or my friends will always leave me, or my romantic relationships will always leave me? Why do I feel that sense of insecurity? And I think the universe wants you to look within and say, this is not logical, the way that you're feeling. It's not possible that in every aspect of your life, those things will always leave you. Yes, it's true, things will come and go. There are relationships that will come and go. But I feel like you feel this to such a level of severity that it's really detrimental to your happiness and your mental well-being. And so something that I think would really help you is, looking at the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups has to do with the past, and it has to do with childhood especially. I think looking within, maybe doing shadow work, maybe working with a therapist or a mental health professional if you have access to one, if you have the ability to do so, would be extremely helpful for you to unlearn these things that have been ingrained into you. Maybe it was parents that you had that always fought over money and were always feeling like they never had enough. Or maybe it was, a parent or a friend that abandoned you, and because of that, you always felt like people will always leave. I think there are some major wounds in your heart that have yet to be healed, and the universe knows that you can become a person that no longer deals with that feeling of pain, that no longer deals with that feeling of insecurity and uncertainty. The universe knows that there is a version of you that stands tall and is not constantly afraid of not having enough, of not being enough. There's a version of you that doesn't have these trust issues in relationships and can feel secure in relationships, that doesn't have anxious attachment. But in order to reach that, nobody's going to heal it for you. You need to have the realizations. And, realization and analysis of yourself, psychoanalysis, is one thing. Yeah, it's important. It's important to be aware of these things. But the next step, the step that actually allows you to let go of these things and heal them, is putting in the work to heal them. And in order to do that, you need to find what works for you. And I'm no expert. I think what I'm meant to do here is bring an awareness to it. And maybe you do have an awareness of it. But I think the universe is trying to tell you it's time to finally heal these things. Maybe you've been putting off making an appointment with a therapist. Maybe you've been putting off reading that book on your shelf about anxious attachment or avoidant attachment. Whatever it is, I think it's time for you to actively start working towards these things, because for the universe to bring these blessings into your life, first of all, the money blessing, or for an example, a relationship blessing, bringing you that perfect relationship. How are you going to have that perfect relationship if the universe brings you the perfect person and you're not ready for them? If the universe brings you that perfect person, you push them away. Or if the universe brings you this dream home and you're constantly worried about it burning down, or you're constantly worried about it being taken from you, or you're constantly worried about losing all your money. How can you enjoy having money if you're constantly afraid of losing it? I think you're holding on so tight and you have such a fear of losing it that you're not yet able to enjoy it. And so it's one thing to gain these blessings, and it's another to be able to enjoy them. And so I think the universe is trying to tell you, in order for you to enjoy these things, you got to work through these insecurities, because this is having a ripple effect on how much you can enjoy your life, how much you can enjoy relationships, how much you can even enjoy money as a tool, as something to have fun with. And so I think it's time to delve deep, ask yourself, how did these fears start? How did this insecurity start? And what can I do to unlearn this and heal this? And finally, with the Queen of Wands, the Ten of Cups reversed, and the Page of Pentacles. I think this final blessing that the universe is trying to bring you is a version of yourself that is so in tune with passion and creativity that you just feel this sense of inspiration and motivation throughout your life. I feel like for you at the moment, this sense of passion and inspiration and motivation, it comes and it goes, and maybe it's hard for you to reach it, and sometimes you're not even sure where your passion lies, or maybe you're not really in tune with your desires. The future version of yourself, I think you are somebody that was born to be creative, born to feel inspired, born to feel motivated, born to follow your passions and your desires. And the future version of yourself does all of that. But in order to do it, I think you need to start focusing on what you want to do. And in another way, another deeper layer in this is, in order to do that, I think you need to start with your family. Now, this is going to be slightly different for everybody because everybody's circumstances are different. For some of you, this is, maybe the spouse that you're with and the children that you have or don't have. Or for others, maybe it's the family that you currently live with. Maybe you live with your parents. Whatever your current situation, I think it's finally time for you to live and let live, we'll say. I think it's difficult for me to explain this, but what I'm almost imagining is there's this thing that I see a lot in, it tends to be straight relationships, male-female relationships, where instead of being partners where each of you have your own tasks, we'll say, where maybe one person takes care of the finances and the other person takes care of running the household, for instance. Instead of separating those tasks, they're so intertwined to the point where, let's say the person that's supposed to be in charge of the finances is constantly yelling at the person in charge of the household of, hey, you need to go do those dishes. You said you were going to do those dishes, or the dishes are still dirty, or hey, the trash needs to be thrown out, like it's full. And the finance person is constantly nagging the homemaker. And because of that, the homemaker isn't able to be, to do their job because they constantly feel put down, or they constantly feel like I'm not doing enough. And instead, when they see that full trash, they feel this sense of dread, or they're constantly just waiting to be yelled at. And because of that, not only does it put a strain on the relationship, but it puts a strain on the homemaker to homemake at their full potential. And vice versa, if the homemaker is constantly looking at the finances and stressing out about that and being like, hey, did you pay for this thing? Or hey, did you take care of that thing? Then the finance person is getting frustrated because they're like, this is supposed to be my job that I take care of. And I say all this to say, I think you are somebody that would greatly benefit from, if you're in a partnership or if you're living with your family, delegate those things and leave them be. Trust in your partner, trust in that family, trust in those other people that they will take care of what needs to take care of. And if they're still not taking care of those things when you give them the time and space and you don't nag them and you leave them on their own to accomplish these things, then I think your relationship has deeper issues that need to be addressed. But I think something that could greatly help you out is stepping away, not nagging, or talking to your partner, talking to your family and telling them, hey, I need these boundaries and I need you to not nag me. And whatever it is, I think it's because you are the kind of person, you are meant to be this hard worker. You are meant to be this entrepreneur. You are somebody who is meant to be creative, somebody that is meant to get things done. I think especially in the career realm. And if you constantly have people nagging you about your career, or nagging you about the decisions that you're making, or judging you for how you do XYZ thing, it makes it extremely harder for you to do XYZ thing. And so I think you will be working at your fullest potential and working most efficiently when you just focus on that. And I don't know, maybe you're somebody who you know that you will be extremely successful as a breadwinner, but you're also being expected to be the homemaker. And maybe it's time to tell your partner, or maybe even if you live alone, you don't have a partner, you don't have a family, maybe it's time to hire a house cleaner who can take care of those homemaking things so it can take that stress off of you. I think something that will really benefit you is you focusing on what you are naturally best at, what you are naturally most inclined at, and that will allow you to just fully be efficient at that thing And it will allow all this passion, creativity to come back to you, because you're not constantly having people nagging, not constantly having people barking over your shoulder, or even just not being in the wrong role. If you're not meant to be the homemaker, you're not meant to be the homemaker. Or if you're not meant to do the finances, you're not meant to do the finances. Hire somebody to do your taxes for you. Hire a financial advisor to take care of it for you. Or, like I said, if it's a family thing, delegate those responsibilities to whoever is best at doing those things. I think it's time to do that instead of just, woman is homemaker, man is breadwinner. Maybe that man would actually be way better as the homemaker. Maybe that's what he's more naturally inclined at. I don't know. I mean, we have all these gender roles, but that's, everybody's different. Not everybody naturally fits into those roles perfectly. And so I think that is a great thing that would help you be this kind of constantly inspired, efficient, hard worker that enjoys the work that you're doing. Feels like you're able to bounce from project to project and work at your full potential and enjoy the work that you do. But I think there's delegation of responsibilities that needs to happen first, and that could greatly help you out, especially within family. And furthermore, not just delegation of responsibilities, but also setting boundaries on whose opinion you want to hear. Maybe you don't want to be nagged for the 5th time in a row about, hey, how's that entrepreneurship going? How's that business going? How are your finances? That's none of your business. That's my business. Why don't you stay over there and worry about your own life? Maybe that's a boundary that you need to set. So, pile 2, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was insightful. I hope it made you feel a little bit more empowered and brought you clarity on however you're feeling. I think the universe really wants to bring you these blessings. Not just the money, but also these feelings of confidence in yourself, the taking away that feeling of scarcity within yourself, taking away feelings of uncertainty, and allowing you to live to your highest potential. But it is going to take some elbow grease from you. It's going to take some time to set those boundaries. It's going to take time to unlearn certain things. And it's going to take time to build yourself into that confident version of yourself. But the good thing about all of it is that it's extremely possible. And it is all within your power right now to get started. So, pile 2, that is everything that I have. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile 3, last but certainly not least. Just a reminder, I'm currently still a little bit sick. So if you hear me coughing just like that, I apologize, and also my voice does sound a little bit weird, so just a disclaimer at the beginning, so you know why I sound the way that I sound. So, starting off, these top cards, these golden tarot cards, are all about what are the blessings that the universe wants to bring to you. Now, the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups reversed, I think these two are kind of talking about the same thing. Sorry, I'm chewing on a cough drop right now. I think these are talking about the same blessing, because I think that there's something that you deeply care about, something that you've always been curious about, something that you've always been interested in, but people have always told you it's childish, or people have always kind of looked down on whatever this thing is. People have always not really understood it, and I think by proxy you feel like they've never understood you on a deeper level. Like, yeah, your family cares about you. Yeah, you have great friends and they care about you. But I think you feel like on a deep level, people don't truly understand you. And this is just one of those things that they don't fully understand. Like, I don't really know what this thing is, but there's this passion that you have that I think that you've really had from a young age. And like, I genuinely don't know what it is. Like, I don't know, maybe it's like racing goldfish. Like, maybe you really like racing goldfish. I know that's random, but I feel like, you know what this reminds me of? There is this guy that, I don't know if he still does them, but he would do these TikTok lives where it was just his pet shrimp. And if you've ever seen shrimp, they are constantly like plucking at things because they feed on like algae and stuff. Anyways, the way that they pluck stuff kind of makes it look like they're dancing. And this guy would do his TikTok lives where he would just set up his little camera facing the shrimp, and then he would put on rave music, and he would call it Shrimp Rave, and it just looked like all his pet shrimp were raving. And thousands of people would watch these shrimp raves, and I was one of them because they're so enjoyable to watch. All this to say, He probably made so much money off of those TikTok lives, like an absurd amount of money. And you know what? I don't necessarily know if that was his dream, but he seemed to really enjoy it and be passionate about it because he did it all the time. And he would like talk over the video and be like, yeah, everybody loves the shrimp rave. And he'd like choose the music to put on. If you told somebody that your dream in life was to film your pet shrimp dancing for hours on end, people would probably think that's kind of funny. But you know what? If there's an audience for it, if you love it, I promise you, there's billions of people in this world. There's probably a good 1,000 or more people out there that would enjoy it as well. And so whatever it is that you love, whatever it is that you want to pursue, there is nothing too silly to be successful. Nothing. There's a guy that did shrimp raves and people ate that shit up, and I ate that shit up, and like it was just so enjoyable to watch. And believe you me, people make a lot of money off of those TikTok lives. Like he probably made a killing off those things if he's still doing it. And so what I'm trying to say here is I see in your cards with the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups reversed, there's this thing that you've always been curious about, this thing that you've always been interested in, that you've always wanted to pursue, but you've never pursued it. And with the Page of Cups reversed, I think there's a lot of people around you that you either would think that this is silly, or they have told you that they think it's silly. Maybe there's people out there that would say, you know what, that shrimp rave is a dumb idea. Nobody's going to watch that. Why would I want to sit there and watch a bunch of shrimp dancing? Well, there's a lot of people out there that did watch that. And so when I look at these cards and how you can invite this blessing into your life, I think this blessing is you finally stepping into your power and saying, you know what? I want to pursue this. I want to pursue what sets my heart on fire, what makes me happy. You know what? No matter what people think. It starts with, first of all, just doing it. When I look at the Eight of Wands, this card is all about just taking that action, just doing it over and over again. Even if the first few times that you go on that TikTok live, nobody tunes into the shrimp rave. Maybe it's 10 times, maybe it's 20 times, and you only get 5 viewers. But you know what? As long as you don't quit, you win. As long as you don't quit, eventually it will be a success. And, maybe that's crazy logic, but I genuinely believe it. Like, do it enough times and your chances of winning only get better. And whatever this thing is, as long as you have a passion for it, I bet you there's an audience for it. There's audiences for terrible people out there. Terrible people that should not have audiences. People that I would not spend 5 minutes watching. And yet, there's millions of people that love watching them. There's people out there that do crazy stuff that I would be like, God, who is watching this? This is so annoying. But there's millions of people that watch that. And there's things that I love that people would probably be like, why on God's green earth are you devoting so much time to this thing? And I'm like, well, I enjoy it. At the end of the day, we're just a couple billion people enjoying the things that we enjoy. And for each person, those are different things. Some people hate those things. Some people despise those things. Some people laugh at those things. But at the end of the day, every single one of those things has somebody that loves it. And if you love this thing, you want to pursue it, then do it. You only have this one life, and you deserve to pursue what makes you happy, even if people think it's childish, even if people don't understand it. Like, I don't know, making stop-motion Lego movies. When I was little on YouTube, I used to watch Lego Batman. Honestly, not the Lego Batman you're thinking of. It was like some random person's YouTube stop-motion. It was really inappropriate. Like, I should not have been watching that at that age. But I thought it was so funny, and I watched like all the videos. All this to say, I think your fears are stopping you from something beautiful. I truly believe every single person is put on this earth to follow their heart. And some people are so afraid that they never follow it. And I promise you, when they're on their deathbed, they regret not following those things. And my goal in life, my goal with these videos, is to push people to follow their hearts, because I know how bad regret can feel. And I know that there is no greater pleasure and no greater happiness in this world than following what we were put on this earth to do. And I think you have this passion beating in your heart, wanting to be expressed. Maybe it was something that you did when you were a kid, like, I don't know, dressing up in a corn dog costume. Maybe you like that. Whatever. Do what makes you happy. It doesn't matter if somebody else thinks it's childish. It doesn't matter if somebody's going to laugh at it. It matters that you love it. And I bet you there's an audience out there for it. Like furries. I'm not a furry. I used to think furries are weird, but now I'm kind of a live and let live kind of person. There's millions of furries out there. There's people that spend thousands of dollars on handmade fursuits and, want to live out their fursona. And you know what? That makes them happy. And Godspeed to them. Let them be happy. And let yourself be happy. And I promise you, whatever it is that you're thinking of, it's probably not that outlandish. It's probably not that crazy. But I think as humans with egos, we're hardwired to protect ourselves from pain. And emotional pain is a very big pain. We throw fears at ourselves and show us the worst possible outcomes so that we stay away from those worst possible outcomes. And I bet your heart is showing you, not your heart, your ego is showing you all these worst possible outcomes of how you could be ridiculed or how you could be rejected or how you could fail. But instead of listening to that ego for a moment, instead of listening to that worst possible outcome, I want you to have a conversation with your heart and ask yourself, what's the best possible outcome? Even if my shrimp rave got 0 views, would I have enjoyed putting on that shrimp rave? Would I have enjoyed dancing with my shrimp and listening to rave music? I probably would. And that's all that matters. And you know what? Eventually, maybe it'll get thousands of views, but right now, I just enjoyed that night where nobody watched it, and it was just me and my shrimp dancing. And that's what really matters here. But in order to do that, you have to learn to let go of fear, and you just gotta do it. And I promise you, the first time is always the hardest. It's the hardest because you're overcoming that first hurdle. But after that first hurdle, each one after gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier until you're just flying by the seat of your pants and enjoying every single step of the way. And now, to take a big detour from this, the final 2 cards have to do with something completely different. I'm pretty sure this has to do with your love life. Given how different this is, it could be that this love life message is only for some of you. So it could be that you were just meant to hear the first message and not the last message. So if this doesn't resonate, don't force it to resonate. It is a general reading after all. But what I'm seeing here is there's a specific message for some of you that I think you need to give a chance to a possible romantic relationship in your life right now, or if not, somebody in your life right now, possibly getting back into that romance game, because I think that there is a relationship out there for you that is perfect. I think your soulmate is right around the corner, but I can see you're still dealing with a heartbreak of some kind. I think there's something that you cannot let go of, or you will not let go of. You can let go of it. And, heartbreak sucks. I think when I had my first heartbreak, dude, that was like a 3-month-long relationship maximum. And I cried over her for a year, dude. I was like 16, so you know how 16-year-olds are. But like, trust me, I understand what it means to be heartbroken, okay? Cried every day for a year. She was not worth it. Trust me, she's married now, and I don't even care. You know why? Because I found my soulmate, and I am so in love. All this to say, I think the universe is trying to tell you that the love of your life is right around the corner. And maybe by right around the corner, I mean you're going to meet him in like a year. But you need to start opening yourself up. I think you need to start saying yes to dates. I think you need to start putting yourself out there and putting one foot out the door. Or at the very least telling yourself, you know what? It's time to move out of the city. You know why I'm thinking of that specific saying is because I've been listening to Chapel Roan. She has an unreleased song that you can listen to on Spotify or on YouTube called Subway. And basically there's this one line that's like, I promise myself if I don't get over this girl in 4 months, then fuck this city. I'm moving to Saskatchewan. I don't know if that's how you say it. I think it's in Canada. But basically, the reason I bring that up is like, heartbreaks suck. But this is not the end of your life. I think there is a great love out there that is going to make your heart soar. Somebody out there that is going to build you up and you're going to build them up and your relationship is going to be beautiful, like the more beautiful than the most beautiful shrimp rave in the entire universe. It is out there for you, I promise you. But it's time to start moving on. And by moving on, I don't mean force yourselves to stop feeling pain, because you can't control pain. You can't control emotion. You can't control heartbreak. But you can control what you do. You can choose to lay in bed and continue crying for another day. You can continue to keep crying, or you can decide, you know what? Today, instead of crying in my bed, I'm gonna go cry at the beach, or I'm gonna go do something fun and cry after that thing. But at the very least, start taking those actions to start being yourself again. Start doing the stuff that makes you happy. Start going out with friends again. Start putting a foot out the door so that you're moving away from this heartbreak instead of sinking deeper into it. Because like I said, you can't control the emotion. You can't control the way you feel, but you can control your actions. And when I look at this Eight of Cups card, I see this guy who's just kind of sitting down. He's sitting down, feeling this thing, unable to move on from it. Yeah, he can't control how he feels, but he can stand up, and he can start taking one step in front of the other to walk away. And eventually, you won't feel that heartbreak anymore. And I promise you, this soulmate is in your future. And this is a good one. I see some good stuff in your future. Whatever your heart broken over, I promise you, a few years from now, it's just going to be a memory long gone that you're going to be like, man, so glad I dodged that bullet because now look at what I got. I got a dime. So I say all this because I want to help lift you up. I feel like you're a little stuck right now. But the future looks so bright for you. I think there is a passion within you that when you follow it, I promise you there's no, excuse me, there's no better feeling in the world than following your heart and feeling the joy that can come when you do what you love. And you are meant to do what you love. And not only that, you are meant for a lot of love, even outside this thing. Even outside following your heart, there is a romantic love out here that you're meant for. And I think more than that, there are friendships out there that you're meant for. There are beautiful places to visit and experiences to experience. There is so much life to be had. So grab it by the reins. Follow your heart, follow your passion, and get started, get moving. Because nobody's going to do it for you. The universe and I are working together to give you this message, to try to give you that kick on the butt, but the only person that's going to stand up and start moving is you. So, pile 3, that is everything that I have for you. I truly wish you the best. I think that you have a beautiful journey ahead of you. I think you've got a beautiful life ahead of you. And I truly wish you the best of luck. I hope that you can achieve all your dreams. But that is everything that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.